Hello and welcome back to the stream. If anyone has popped in, I'd like to say thank you for coming back. I did take a couple of days off to make sure that I got through my flat inspection. I had a couple of job interviews, so I've been very busy the last couple of days. But I thought after taking a quick break with some Guild Wars, we'd come back to play some RimWorld. It's been a little while since we played, so we're just going to jump straight back into the colony where we were, which would be the Red Thicket Confederation. So let's get that loading up. And yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week, a good weekend. Hope they're looking forward to doing something interesting next week. I myself got a couple more job interviews. Keep my fingers crossed for those, hoping they go well. Okay, so where did we leave off? Looks like we've got a relatively new start. Yes, because I think we lost a couple of colonies in the previous go through. Looks like we start off with a ruin with a geothermal generator that we've sealed in there. We've got this gentleman here who's a solid pawn. We've got, I think that's probably one of his friends. Nope, different faction. We are converting this guy. Okay, so we've got a few things set up. Got another dumping stockpile by the looks of it there. The wanted prisoners. Okay, they want us to hold 2 prisoners. Looks like we have our Tinkerer is okay. And it looks like I've set schedules and outfits and things. Okay, so we've got a fairly good starting off point for this colony. So let's go ahead and speed them up a little bit. Now, the quest for holding prisoners can probably fit that in. They've not got any... Oh, they have. So they do have Word of Trust. Is there anyone else with social skill that we want to get on the ladder towards becoming a royal? Ernesto would be a good pick, I think. So we'll accept it for the honour with Ernesto. And we'll get the prisoners put into this little makeshift prison that we've built. Okay, so they're just sedated for the moment. We need to keep them there for 15 days. Shouldn't be too bad. So as with every stream, we do have a question of the day, which is exclamation mark QOTD, which for today is what is your earliest gaming memory? For me personally, it's playing Trapdoor on an Amstrad CPC. A very old Amstrad machine that ran on a tape deck. So we had a tape deck that you plugged into the Amstrad. You put a tape in and it loaded the games from the tape cassettes. It was an interesting time. But beyond that, I can't remember much else. One of my earliest games I remember completing was the original Doom. Back then we had it on floppy disk. and yeah, it was such a good game. I was really young when I played that though. Okay, how are we looking in terms of resources? We've got wood, got some bricks. I think we picked up those bricks from deconstructing things, as it doesn't look like there's much, if any, sign of ruins around the map. Although we do have the ancient danger here. So while the colonists are sorting themselves out here, I hope everyone did get some stuff done during the week. As I said earlier, I had a flat inspection on Friday. I had a couple of job interviews, and I spent time yesterday putting together typing up and tidying a creature I created for a D&D campaign that I ran. I've released that for my supporters on Ko-Fi, the link for which can be found in !socials. And I've also got most of the way through the Ranger subclass that I'm working on, which will be released on both itch.io and the Google Drive links that I've been posting about on Twitter. The itch.io link can also be found in !socials. Certainly. Okay, so I think. Me. Okay, is this any better? Okay, yeah. I just had a bit of a problem with my mic then. I'm not sure why. But it looks like it's sorted itself out for the moment. Might be a case that my mic is on the way out, which is frustrating. But if there are any problems with the sound or my mic, please do let me know and I'll try and get them rectified. Yeah, I don't know how far I got into that conversation before things died, but hope everyone had a productive week. Like I said, I've been quite busy myself, and hoping some good things come from it. We'll see how it goes. Not particularly interested in the deserter, so we'll scrap that. We'll not go into the gold mining site. But it looks like everyone's working relatively well. Not much cleaning being done right at this moment. I think that's partially because we're doing a lot of everything else. But as they stack up and complete jobs, we should see the cleaning being done as well. Let's make sure the home area covers everywhere. Make sure it goes over there as well. And we'll cover this bit too, so we'll need to repair that if it ever gets damaged. Okay. Take that down to 25, just so that we're not consistently making meals. But once they get up to 60, that should stop until we get back down to 25. We've got plenty of cloth. What are we making here? Recurve bows. We're making 5 recurve bows and a pelt coat. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so who do we have doing what? So we've got 2 cooks, 3 hunters, almost everyone on construction, growing. Why don't we have them on plant cut? Because we want them to do mine. No, because mining come first. Don't know why they're not harvesting, so we'll put them back on plant cut. And it's the way it goes sometimes, I think. I probably had a reason for doing it, but I can't remember what that reason is, so we're going to ignore it. It's probably not a good idea doing the cooking while we've got so much rubbish about. The fact that he's tidying up in here is a good sign. There we go, he's doing a bit of cleaning now. That means we're getting towards the point where the colony is relatively self-sufficient. Yep, so they're going around and they're doing the cleaning, they're doing a bit of recreation, which is what we've set them in the schedule. And then back to work, an hour of recreation around lunch, more work, and then recreation before bed as well. Who's formed a relationship? Oh no. Brother of Ernesto is walking through. That's fine by me. Okay, so can I have that good recurve bow, please? Frost has got worms. Okay, so the gut worms gone from Frost. I think. Yeah, we're still a couple of tens away from getting rid of gut worms on Ilikaboo. And Ernesto does have a ranged weapon, he just has a sidearm which he's currently wielding. And we are researching stone cutting, which is what we want. So as and when they get main jobs complete, they'll go back to researching, and we'll build up slowly from there. And we're not... Okay, we want to cremate corpses, we want to do forever, we want to allow all, but not fresh. And don't want to cremate colonist corpses. We'll just get rid of that... Was it chicken, cat, rooster? We'll get rid of the cat rabbit as well. So the roaming monstrosities do give some really odd creatures at times. But again, we're building a mountain base, so starting off with just a little bit here, and then we'll expand deeper into this mountain and up and down here. And the plan is to have raiders coming through here and through a defensive setup here. And then we've got a steam geyser there for power. There's another one just outside the base. Another one just up here. And another one just there. So we've got plenty of options for power in the future. And it should keep us well supplied. This is a temperate forest. So we should have plenty of creatures if we ever need to hunt. Although I do plan on trying to sustain this level of growing for these colonists. Should give us an excess of food, especially once we get a freezer set up. Then we shouldn't need to worry about food for quite some time. Okay, so it looks like Frost has completed the bows, so let's make sure everyone gets a brand new shiny recurve bow. Excellent, there we go. So everyone's got a new recurve bow, and the pelt coat, I believe, is for Ilikaboo. Which should be... yeah, should be allowed for the moral guide and the leader. And we're just making them one of them for the moment. Okay. So that conversion has been completed. So now we just need to recruit. And we will use... he's psychically deaf, so we have to do it the old way. We have to talk to them. Oh dear. Imagine having to talk to your prisoners. So I think the plan is tonight to stream for about 3 hours, going till around midnight. We'll see how I feel once we get to that point. If I still feel good, we'll probably go for another hour from there until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Then I do need to head to bed because I've got an interview, a couple of interviews tomorrow that I need to get to, and obviously need time to prepare, to get ready, to need to have a good shave and clean myself up a bit, make myself look presentable, and then yeah, fingers crossed. Got to keep putting myself out there, but we'll see how it goes. So at this point, I don't particularly need to do much, but what I am going to do is I'm going to disrupt everyone a bit. I'm going to chop down all of the wood in here again. And then I think I'm going to set up the first set of defences. And we'll set them up as, I think... we could probably set them up as granite. So... I'm going to use a 2-corridor system in this setup. So... go there. So those there. So hopefully I have enough to get this sorted. But we shall see. So let's build this up here. I think I'm building this the right way. Yeah, we put a door there. So when we have people stood here, the enemies will come down this corridor. When we have people stood here, they'll come down this one. So the idea is, when they get close here, we move people over to this one, they turn around and go back up and round. So we want... let's put steel doors in for now. And then we want doors out. And then the idea of having empty spaces here is so we can fight them 3-on-1 if they ever do get into melee range. And then we'll fill these corridors with pillars and and barricades, so that the enemies can't stop and will be forced to come down into this spot here, which we'll leave open. And just to make it slower, we'll turn all of this into tilled soil, which has a very low movement speed, so 72%. So they'll walk nice and slow, giving us more time to shoot at them. So I'm just hoping we have enough granite blocks to finish this off. Which it doesn't look like we do. I may have miscalculated. Oh well, we'll just have to leave it half complete until we get to the point of unlocking stone cutting. I'm just going to put you on mute for a second while I grab a drink. Oh, prison break. Not today, I don't think. Oh. Well, let's fail that quest. And he's moving far too fast, he's outrunning you. Okay, Frost has some minor bruising. Okay, you've got some bleeding wounds. Well, we need to replace that wall. So, who's a good constructor? Cosme. Get this wall done, please. And who's a good doctor? You are a good doctor. Okay, tend to some of their wounds, please. Bleeding out in 12 hours. You're getting the medicine to come and finish them off. There we go. .8 resistance. So close as well. But a Psychic Soothe is always nice to have. Frost has not been tended. It's just got a couple of heavy bruises. There we go. Oh, we get some human meat and some leather as well. And an eclipse. Because everyone loves the darkness. How are we at... Oh yeah, most people don't have any intellectual skill. Oh dear. Let's set everyone to research just so that we get a bit of it done. It'll be slow going, especially being tribals, but we'll get there eventually. Go, Frost, finish off the pelt coat for me. Ooh, an excellent pelt coat. Very nice. Okay, so the next recruitment attempt should be the one. That's what we like to see. Your gut worms should be gone in the next 2 days. Put the coat on. Help your mood a little bit. You are a nudist though, so you don't quite like the clothes. Oh dear. A dry thunderstorm. Excellent, just what we needed. Some forest fires going. And we get some rain, perfect. So no forest fires spreading this time. But we do have a raid coming in. Okay, so it's all melee, no range. Okay, we don't have anywhere to hide behind just yet. So this could be interesting. That's good shooting. Okay, let's get people at them. Red's okay. Why are you over there? You're a coward, that's why. Okay. That went about as well as I could expect. Everyone should be coming in and going to bed. Tend, please. Okay, and they're attended. Excellent. The jade would be nice. Attempting to recruit, so there should be the recruitment that we need. There we go, new recruit. So, what are you good at? Don't want you wardening. With 4 skill, we'll have you entertaining. 4 skill, you grow. You do have some research skill. So let's have a look. You are mostly a melee pawn, so we'll move you to that side there. And you can get rid of the shiv. We will give you an equa, and since you're doing plants, we'll give you the hatchet as a sidearm. And we'll set you the same schedule as everyone else. And want okay. There we go. So everyone's going to go to bed and heal up a little bit. Of course, Usitus, Susamines, and Frost. They've all got muscle parasites. Wonderful, so everything's going to be a little bit slower to get done. Okay. Just wonderful. I think Cassie's a little upset with me recently. She's not been playing nice. But we shall see. I think now most people are going to be staying in bed for a long time. Why aren't you eating? Why did you eat raw meat and then... I don't know. What are you going to do? Wade's destitute drifters. 4 refugees. Their leader is called Wade. They say their caravan was ambushed and everything was taken. Wade begs you for permission to stay at Red Desert for 18 days so they can rest and regroup. You know what? Let's say okay. And we'll move all of our pawns to this side. So we've got Wade, who is a cook child and a forester. Mountain lover, insatiable, night owl. Okay, let's make sure that Wade is sleeping during the day. And he gets recreation there and there. Anything else there? Set that to work. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Okay, so we've got Wade. So plants, cooking, and animals. We want to make sure he's turned off cooking though. Yep, he's not on cooking, but he's relatively good across everything else. We've got Garcia, who is incapable of a lot of things and is a pyromaniac. That's not going to be fun. Good at fighting, but beyond that. Okay, Nobu, psychically dull, fast learner and sickly, good at animals, bit of medical, bit of intellectual. And Daichi, incapable of almost everything, but good at intellectual. Okay, so we might see some improvements. We've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we probably need at least one more sleeping bag. We'll get that done. Okay, how are we looking at wood? Ooh, doing okay on wood at the moment. Get some cleaning, get some researching done, hopefully. Okay, we want to turn them off hunting as well. You're not good at any of those, so we'll turn you off those. Okay, so we'll leave those as they are. Atkins and Garcia. Okay, so you want another one of these. And we'll fit you both into that one. So it's Atkins and Garcia. Let's see if their ideology will allow it. Atkins and ideology forbids. Of course, they can't be putting one together. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little quiet for a little bit off. I've just had a big wave of fatigue hit, which is not fun, but it's part and parcel of what I've been dealing with since I've had COVID. Wade's doing some planting for us in the middle of the night. I do like night owls. They do come in handy. And we've got a raid coming in. Okay. 3 people. Range weapons this time. And they are preparing and then we'll attack. Okay. So they've got short bows and rocks. I'm going to pause and take another drink. Okay, how are we going to defend this one? I think we can probably use these walls. Do these guys have any weapons? No, except for Wade. Cosmic. Did Cosmic get knocked down and gave her equal away? I think we did. Okay. In that case, get this kite and shiv. Get you two there. And let's get you there. Okay, they're going to be shooting from there. Okay. Let's see if we can charge these guys down. Okay, we're running away from that. That did not go well. See, you're just going to come and get the meal. Why don't you just get Frost? Okay, let's try all aiming at 1, please. How is he so accurate with those rocks? Okay, we'll try and take out this one. See if we can sneak around and get him there. God's sake, he's accurate with that bow. That's it. Come on, get another couple of hits. How? Of course, it's the muscle parasites. It's always the muscle parasites. So, you're not bleeding out. You are bleeding. It's the way it goes, I think. But that could have been worse. Frost couldn't quite make it to a bed. But get everyone healed up. Okay, so we've got a bulk trader. I like bulk traders, especially this early on. Oh, for God's sake. No, you've got to stop Garcia. I completely forgot he's one of them, so they're going to be upset with me. We'll release him, but we're not having him setting fires in the base. That's just ridiculous. Okay, we'll sell the meat because that won't last long. We'll sell the bird skin, insect chitin, the panthera fur, human leather. Sell the drugs. We'll sell the tainted clothing and the awful clothing. And that order can go, they can go. Okay, is there anything we do want? Not that it looks like. Alright, so we'll go just a little bit over, that's fine with me, but 1,100 silver. That's what we like. Okay, so on release he's just gone for a wander, has he? That's fair enough. Oh dear. Okay, you're back up. Okay, so we'll leave this to run for a bit and see how it goes. Cosme and Snake Slayer had a bit of a fight. So we're making progress slowly. Everyone's a little bit injured. We can ignore that because if it comes into the base, it'll get hit by those. It's fine by me. Just like that. Set it to hunt. Someone will grab that and finish it off for me. Excellent. Things are all getting replanted. That's what we like to see. And the trade caravan's on its way out. Yep, we weren't going to do that quest anyway. Frost is on a flirting frenzy. No thank you. Right, once we get stone cutting done, then we can focus on starting to get a base carved out of this mountain. Something a little more permanent. Oh dear. So tired. This fatigue is really taking out of me. It's I mean, I've never been the fittest person in the world, except for when I was very young, but the fatigue's really killing me. It's yeah, and it's not just the fatigue; it's the brain fog as well. I find myself stumbling over things that should never have given me an issue before. For those of you who are wondering, we do have a large number of mods in this playthrough. So if you do !mods, that will give you a link to a Steam Workshop collection that will have every single mod that we're using in this playthrough. So in there are a lot of quality of life mods. There's some graphic packs for the start menu that you'll see cycling through when we start or finish a run. There's the P Music mod, and then there's more content expansive mods like the Vanilla Expanded mods. We have the Altered Carbon mod. We also have the Shadowrun Races mod, which gives us access to humans, elves, dwarves, orcs, and trolls. And yeah, there's a lot of other mods in there. It's well worth checking some of them out. I know that all of the ones in this pack do run together. They load without throwing up any errors. I've not had any crashes with this set of mods. If anyone does choose to go with the same mod pack, I would advise taking your time with it. It may need a little bit of moving things about to get it absolutely perfect loading, but once you're there, then it's done. You only need to then go back in and change it when you're getting rid of mods or when you're adding anything else in. But for what I've got currently, it's a solid set of mods. It adds a lot of content, so I would not advise it for players very new to the game. But for those looking for something a little different, it works really well together. So next thing we want to set up is Do we want furniture? No, we want clothing. Complex clothing, there we go. And what we want is production. And we want the stonecutters table. Yeah, I'm going to put the stonecutters table. We'll put it there and there. They'll mine out those two spots anyway. And then we'll put stools there as well. We want to make any stone blocks, we want to do forever, and then we just want to shorten this down so it includes all of that, and that should be enough. So we'll copy that one. When they finish that, we'll print it onto this one as well, like so. And so now we should be making stone bricks, which is great. And once we've got through these here, we'll make sure we bring in some granite so we can finish off these walls. Why use such a break risk? Have a lot of negatives because you are ill with muscle parasites. Is muscle parasites one of the ones that goes away? Yeah, so 300%. We've got a while to go before we get rid of that. Hey Davey, how are you doing? Thank you for popping in. I'm tired. It's been a very busy week, and I've kept myself busy yesterday and today as well. So I'm relatively fine on the sport front. Newcastle did well, so I can't complain. And so we showed Notts Forest how we do it in the Premier League. But yeah, I had Thursday. I'd spent the vast majority of the day cleaning the flat. So I had a flat inspection on Friday. I had a couple of interviews last week as well, and other than that, keeping myself busy on my own projects as well. So I've been working on D&D subclass. I released I think you saw the link earlier. I released a creature on Ko-fi for my for anyone who supports me on there. So I've just been doing a bit of everything over the last week. Yeah, he might be a bit happy with how Newcastle did. So the fun thing for me is I started supporting Newcastle to spite my dad. Well, not to spite my dad. My mum started supporting Newcastle to spite my dad. I started supporting Newcastle because my mum supported Newcastle, and because Shearer was captain of England when I was a kid. And but my dad's side of the family are all Mackhams. And yeah, I play D&D regularly, so I'm part of a game that runs every Monday. So hopefully we'll be playing again tomorrow. And then I'm also part of a Discord server, which is what's called a West Marches style, which is where you don't have a single fixed party. You have people who pop in and out, You have like I think this server's got 5 or 6 regular dungeon masters who run games at various times throughout the week. So I might play anywhere from on that server, I might play anywhere from 6 to 8 times every month. And so there's a lot of D&D that I'm playing. I've played since 3rd edition when I was in high school. And for the past year or so, I've been working on a supplement for 5th edition, which is going to have 14 subclasses based around the elements and siegecraft. There is a link in !socials which will take you to the itch.io page. So far I've finalised and released 10 subclasses out of 14. I'm working on the 11th. And yeah, it's a lot of work, as I do have a couple of friends in the industry who are sending things out to playtest. And so I put down the initial draft of what I'm going to put the class through. I send it out to them to playtest. They come back to me saying, well, we think this needs changing, this is not quite right. I rework it goes out for playtesting again, comes back, and then I sit down, type it up, format it. Ooh, what kind of Pokemon cards? Because I did recently do a sort out, and I have a lot of Pokemon cards hanging around. They're not first edition base set, but when did I get them? The vast majority are from about 4 years ago, I think. Unless you are looking for something very specific. But I went through a phase where I was like, yeah, I want Pokemon cards again, just because. Okay, so what monstrosities have we got this time? We have a Dogman and a Beetle Fleet. Okay, that's not going to be fun, because the Beetle Fleet will explode. Okay. Ernesto, we need you with the ranged weapon. Going to go there. This could go horribly wrong. Please, please, please shoot the Beetle Fleet. That's, yeah, please, chase Wade. I really don't care about Wade. Come on, please just hit it. Of course there's lightning. He's taking out my telescope. Okay, everyone put the fire out, please. So I used to have full collections of base set 2, Fossil, Jungle, and Rocket. But I don't know what I did with them. They're either in my mum's loft, in my brother's loft, or they just disappeared. And I can't remember what happened to them. Yeah, I was one of those kids that looked after them as well, because growing up, my grandfather collected comics, and so I knew the value in keeping things in good condition. And so when he passed, I inherited his comic collection, which unfortunately I did have to sell most of, but yeah, whenever I had anything collectible like that, I tended to keep them in good condition. So that's the plan when I've got a bit of time. I need to spend most of my energy getting back into work, or at least making a bit of money. I used to have a local store that dealt in comics, cards, games, everything, but they shut down. The nearest comic store now will probably not counting Forbidden Planet, because Forbidden Planet's just a shithole, would probably be, it's a place in Manchester. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But, yeah. Who's missing sidearm? Wade. Yeah, that's fine. But there was a place next town over, you know, it's like half hour on the bus. But I know they shut their physical shop. They're still in the same location, but now they only deal, you know, online and Facebook only, because they can't afford to keep the store open, which is it's rather frustrating, because it was a nice place to pop into, but I know they try to diversify into wargaming stuff as well, but you know, the town's also got a Games Workshop, so they were never going to get anywhere with that, really. Yeah, I do miss browsing. It's one of the things I like to do when I go to conventions as well, is just go down the comic alleys and, you know, rows upon rows of back issue boxes. Yeah, the place I used to go was A Man and His Wife, but you know, the shop rents in my town are just a bit shit. People like to think it's a posher place than it actually is, and you know, so the landlords charge too much, the rates are too high, and you know, everything just shuts down after a little bit. Nothing ever lasts long. So even when places are doing reasonably good business, they just can't afford to run in this town. Yeah, see, I'm not that far south from Alderley Edge, which is, you know, the posh part of Cheshire, where all of the footballers have got their houses around. So, you know, you go out towards Manchester, we have to drive through Alderley Edge. You drive past all these massive houses and, you know, sat behind all these big fences and massive gates. And who's got the flu now? Cetus, Ernesto, and Atkins. Okay. The flu might be a bit of a problem. So I don't mind Atkins, because they're not technically one of mine. Okay. Yeah, it's I mean, don't get me wrong, some parts of Alderley Edge are doing quite well, and there's the AstraZeneca sites out there as well, so, you know, AstraZeneca do some good work. So it's not all bad up there, but most of it is just rich twats. Yeah, fair enough. We're not going to be doing these quests. So the reason I'm deleting quests like these two is because we have the city builders meme, and so we get negative mood debuffs if we actually leave the tile. People like staying in one place. Nobu is going into a poor mood. That's fine with me. You're tending yourself, are you? Yeah, That's fine. 6.3. That's dreadful. And Ernesto got 16. It's not great, but it's okay. So one of my previous jobs was as a porter in an auction room, and eventually we got a huge selection of comics that came in. You know, everything from Marvel and DC from the 70s and 80s, and you know, Judge Dredd, 2000 AD, Beano the Dandy, just every sort of comic you could imagine. Massive load of them. It was about 7,000 or 8,000 comics in total. And the auctioneer wanted to put them in one single lot and sell them for about £100. And it's I had a quick look through some of them. I was like, yeah, you can't do that. So I then spent 3 days sorting out all of these comics into separate lots. I think we ended up with about 100 lots from this one selection, and I took out a couple to put into the specialist auction that was the following week. And yeah, the auctioneer wanted to sell the entire lot for 100 quid because he had no idea what to do with it. And we ended up selling that entire lot and the specialist auction. They made about it was about £3,500, and it's none of it was in stellar condition, but there was some really good comics in there. And yeah, it's that drove me nuts. But the auctioneer still didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, it's madness. It's especially as there's one comic that I own that I will never sell because I don't want to. It's basically my get out of trouble free card. It's Detective Comics number 140, the first appearance of the Riddler. And I have that in a sealed airtight box that's kept in one of my closets that I keep relatively temperature controlled. And that one comic has specialist insurance just for that one comic, because that is expensive and I do not want to lose it. Yeah, if you see a post like that, it's the same in comics. I keep an eye on some of the groups on Facebook, and you know, as soon as you see one thing like that, it's like, yeah, gotta get it. But there's one that I'm probably gonna look at selling soon. Is Edge of the Spider-Verse number 2. Which is the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. For God's sake, malaria as well. Cassandra, what the fuck are you doing to me? Well, he's got 3 major conditions: malaria, flu, and muscle parasites. God damn it. But yeah, Edge of the Spider-Verse number 2, which is the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. Ever since the Edge of the Spider-Verse movie, that comic's gone through the roof. When I bought it, it was worth about 25 quid. And my copy's in mint condition. As it is now, I could turn around and sell that no issue for about £300 to £400. And if I were to send it off and get it graded by CGC and encapsulated, I could probably get 600 to 700 for it. Yeah, it's the thing with comics is just the mere announcement of a movie featuring that character. If it's not been done before, sends it through the roof. As I had 2 copies of the New Mutants '98, which was the first appearance of Deadpool. And when that movie was announced, that comic rose 10 times in value overnight. As soon as that test footage was leaked, that comic just shot up. It was insane. I do regret selling them though. I sold them both for it's 125 quid each. I think I paid cover price for them. I paid something like £3. I was like, 125 quid, fucking yes. And it's at the time I needed the money. Okay. This is not going to go well. So they've got guns at a longer range than our bows. And half of our people are sick. So what I think I might do is if they stick around, I might send Wade and his people to melee them while I try and shoot them. Yeah. So it's was it Logan Paul's one who had who wore a was it a base set Shadowless Charizard into the boxing ring? And that was ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, and he's just wearing it around his neck like a, yeah. And that to me is just insane. That'd be like me walking around with my first appearance of Riddler around my neck. Just, it's like, why? So he's one of those people that just rubs me up the wrong way, I think. He's just, I don't know. Okay, so you guys hide around there. Okay. So this could, I don't want that. This could go wrong. Go and attack Oscar for me, please. I think Wade's gonna die. And get this guy for me, please. And Oscar hasn't broken yet. That's okay. Frost, you can go home. You can go home as well, Nobu. he's like, he must be doing something right because he's not broken homeless. So it can't be all bad, but yeah, it's something about him just rubs me the wrong way. No one is going to... Oh, earthquake. Where was that? That's plenty far away. Come on, rescue Atkins as well, instead of leaving him lying on the ground there. So have you got much planned for next week? Anything interesting? Or just more of the same? Atkins is a medical emergency. He's got extreme flu. He's cutting it close. Okay, your malaria is touch and go. Your malaria is fine. You've developed immunity to the flu. Your malaria is cutting it close. Okay. So where are you? Frost, you're there. Preach health on Frost for me, please. Go back to bed. That should keep his malaria at bay. Well, I've got a couple of job interviews tomorrow. Nice busy day. D&D in the evening, hopefully. Beyond that, no other plans. Might tentatively have another interview on Thursday, but I've not yet heard back about that. But we shall see how tomorrow goes. So one of the jobs is it's an insurance, call center style job, working from home. It's not the kind of thing I want to do because insurance is like selling your soul to the devil. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. I can't afford to be that picky anymore. The other job is a little better. It's telecoms. I've done telecoms before. I know how things work. It's not quite as soul-destroying as working in insurance. That one is only a part-time job though. It's 4 hours a day. But 4 hours a day on £10 an hour is more than I get for being on universal credit, so it's better than nothing. Yes, yeah, I've done a few different things. I've worked in a Cantonese kitchen, I've worked in a warehouse, I've been an auction porter, then moved on to doing valuations. I've worked a couple of different office jobs, I've worked from home. So yeah, I've done a bit of everything. I don't mind working from home, doing call center style work, because I don't have to go anywhere, and it saves on the commute. But we'll see. Yeah, so when I worked in the Cantonese restaurant, I went in straight in as a line cook because it was a friend of the family who needed an extra set of hands, and so I was the only Englishman in that kitchen. The other two chefs were from Hong Kong, didn't speak a word of English, and then we had the head chef who's from Hong Kong, but he speaks perfect English. So he was the one doling out the orders. God's sake. Okay, so you're not going to come out of the room. We're attacking immediately from different angles. You've got them. Okay, so they're all melee weapons. Everyone up. And SC, you're going to have to get your ranged weapon out. Ah, this could be fun. Yeah, I learned a lot working in the restaurant, to the point where I can't cut with Western style knives properly. I have to use a Chinese style cleaver, even for very fine chopping. Yeah, I suppose it saves on wear and tear on knives. It's, you know, one of the first things I learned when I started there was how to properly look after and maintain a cleaver. Okay, Frost, you can go. Yeah, so I grew up living very close to my mum's mum, my grandma, and she taught us all how to cook. And then, yeah, working in the Chinese kitchen gave me more skills. It gave me more knife skills. Learned how to use a wok properly. Of course, you've gone down with 1 hit, 2 hits. Everyone, don't just fucking wander off. Rescue your friend. But yeah, knowing how to cook various different things, it's all great. Although I did get an appreciation of what what's considered real Chinese cooking versus what we get in restaurants and takeaways. Who's the medical emergency? Wade. Malaria is... Look, Wade's going to die to malaria. Excellent. Frost. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to save him. It's 98 to 93. He's dead. Oh, yeah. I think my skill at butchery comes down to how to spatchcock a duck. Because that's pretty much the only butchery we did in the Chinese restaurant. And that was, you see this cleaver? Well, you stand the duck there, you take the cleaver, and you whack it down through the duck and take out the spine. And then you press it flat. And that was it. And it's, press it flat, then cut it in half. And then we'd fry it off for the Peking duck. Oh man, that was good times though. It's get to take out some real anger going through the ducks in 1 hit. Okay, who's dying to what? You're fine. That won't kill you. You're fine. Okay, so they're going violent on us now. Okay, are you any use? Oh, you sod it. Let's finish you off. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I do admit I've never had need to butcher anything bigger, especially now considering, you know, I live alone. It's, you know, if I break down a chicken, that lasts me for at least a week. I could probably make it stretch a bit further if I ate a little less as well, but I'm a big guy, I like to eat. But yeah, learning how to break down a chicken was one of the first skills that my grandma taught me. She used to do it the you know, when she was a kid, she used to do it the old school way because she was brought up on a farm. So, you know, she learned how to break a chicken's neck, how to pluck it, and then, you know, how to break it down, how to render the fat, how to turn the leftovers into stock and all that jazz. So she taught me quite a lot, and it's definitely handy. It's one of those skills that I think everyone should learn, especially with things going the way they are. You know, being able to make a chicken into, you know, 7 meals is, God's sake. Ah, dear. RimWorld is really kicking my backside recently. It's Cassie is really throwing some shade at me. She's not throwing too many raids my way, but we're getting lots of negative events. I'll put you on mute for a second while I get a drink. Oh dear, that's better. My throat was going a little bit. So one of the things I would like to learn in the future is maybe you know, a bit of proper butchery. So we've got a lot of farms around here, and I know one of them is a cattle farm that does raise beef. Most of them are dairies, so not a lot in the way of beef cattle, but would be nice to do it at least once. Okay, Mad Muffalo. Is it just the one? Okay, everyone up. You 3 there. You 3 in front, please. Go and get it. Finish off. So do you mean an easy job as in a job that is easy, or a job that's easy to find? I can't imagine. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't imagine being a butcher's an easy job in terms of actually doing the job. Although, to be fair, it's probably a damn sight better than selling insurance. Okay, so we actually have some ranged weapons for people now. So 7 shooting, 5 shooting, 8 shooting. So 8 shooting, you can have a hunting rifle. And the double-barreled shotgun's poor. The frontier pistol. Of that, and we'll give you the double-barreled shotgun. So now we have some firearms. Yeah, so you don't do the full breakdown. You just do the work at the end, making sure everything looks pretty for the customer. Yeah, fair enough. And so I can understand why they'd expect you to have a bit of experience under your belt before touching a fillet. It's not exactly a cheap cut. What I was going to do something, but I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I was going to look for granite to haul in. Set it to haul urgently. Celebration of Steampunk. Okay, so we can certainly do that. Yeah, that's one of the things that my grandma taught me as well. Is there's always something you can do with the vast majority of what most people would consider waste. And so it's very rare that I throw much out. Obviously after I've made stock and things with carcasses and bones, they usually go out. But yeah, it's very rare that I actually throw a lot away. So we've got Unforgettables. So we've got 3 development points for that, which is going to come in handy. And so we only need to get to 10, and then we can upgrade our ideology. Yeah, it's I do the same. It's if there's ever any offcuts or anything like that, they they either get broken down or used for something else. Any large amounts of fat that I cut off, they go for rendering. And any bones usually saved go through at least once for stock. Yeah, well, if you're just a butcher, then you're just going to focus on what you're expected to focus on, which the cuts of meat, various other bits, the basics. But thinking on how to use every bit of what you're producing, even the things that the butchers might throw away. If you can make money off stuff that you would have otherwise thrown away, that's it's all better for it. We're putting tainted clothing in there. That's because I haven't set up anything up there. I'll leave it for now. Yeah, so yeah, if you can make a little bit extra, get some extra for yourself as well. It's always going to be a good shout. Inspired mining. So we've got 400 marble blocks. Got granite that we're making. So eventually I'll make enough granite bricks to finish off these walls so that I actually have defences. So the last place I worked at that had a bonus was when I was working in the energy industry. I was working at a third party. Basically arranging gas and electricity contracts for small and medium businesses, and yeah, the commission we made was based on whatever we sold. Any job that I've done and I'll earn a comfortable wage, which one am I picking? That's a good question. Out of the jobs, the actual jobs where I've been on, when I've been employed by someone. Very good question. In a perfect world, none of them. I'd rather be, writing D&D content. But if I had to pick one of them, it'd probably be going back into doing telecoms. Telecoms or energy. Energy was fun because I got to tell people to fuck off. Because my boss just didn't give a damn. He said if they started giving us abuse, give them abuse back. But yeah, I'd rather work for myself, writing D&D content, or just tabletop content in general. It's something I'm, hoping maybe in my future, but we'll see. So a close second would be working in the Chinese restaurant, but it was long, back-breaking work. So we'd start prep at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'd have a break between 3 and 6, and then from 6 till midnight we'd be on in the kitchen. It was insane. It's also a little bit illegal, but I had good fun. And they fed us really well. But yeah, it was long hours. It was for kitchen work. It was an early start, but yeah. It was good fun though, but yeah, working during summer in that kitchen with the woks. Yeah, the wok burners are insane because they're either on low or on high there is no off, there is no in between. And so when you're doing a full service for 6 hours, and it's I think one summer the summer I was there, we had a couple of 30, 32 degree days, and all the wok burners going full. We had the oven going full for char siu, and we had the deep fryers going, and it was dreadful, absolute sweatbox. But no, it was good. But yeah, that would be a close second. I don't think I'd be able to handle heat. It's because I did that when I was in my early 20s, when I actually felt a little bit more invincible. And it's the same with the warehouse. When I was working in the warehouse, I was doing 12-hour nights. So I was doing 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. Standard shifts were 4 on, 4 off. But I was doing 2 days overtime, so I was doing 6 on, 2 off. And, because overtime was double pay. So, instead of being on 18 grand a year, I was making 36 grand a year. Because I was doing 2 days overtime, which was doubling my pay. And, I did that when I was between 20 and 22. And it was, walking 14, 15 miles a night through a concrete floored warehouse. And yeah. Was to take care of 2 Royal A's, Red Desert for squeamish, but he's okay for a 15-year-old. He's pretty good. Yep, sod it. Get rid of that and that. Do the Aves. Yeah, so the Aves can be zoned. So go there. We'll train them to haul as well. Expand allowed area. And we'll set it to inside the walls. Yeah, I found that out the hard way. But yeah, I was there for 2 years on permanent nights, and it really messed up my sleep schedules. Even now, I find it difficult to sleep through the night, because my body still thinks, right, it's nighttime, time to be up. And in the middle of the day, it'll be like, right, it's daylight outside, time to sleep. Because there was no breaks. It wasn't like, doing 1 week on days, 1 week on nights. Like a lot of places will have you switching like that. No, this was just nights permanently. So even on my 2 days off, I was staying up through the night and sleeping during the day, because if you're doing 12-hour nights, you get to your first day off, you're going to be sleeping during the day anyway, and then if you try and change your sleep patterns, you just have to try and change it right back immediately, so it's not worth trying to change it. And yeah, my joints are screwed anyway. Ironically, when I was 20, when I started working in the warehouse, I actually went to the doctors for various joint pains, and it was then that I got diagnosed with arthritis, which is in most of the joints in my body. So yeah, I'm covered in aches and pains. Yeah, it's while I've been unemployed, yeah, I've messed up my sleep patterns, but I'm very good at adjusting them again. And so part of the D&D server I'm part of, that I play, you know, multiple times a week, most of the people there are Americans, so they'll play, you know, late at night in the Eastern time zones. And yeah, so sometimes I end up playing D&D at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, running from 3 until 7. And I'm their token Brit. But yeah, I'm relatively good at switching back again when I need to. Like now, I've been last couple of days I've been sleeping from, you know, midnight till usually get up at 5 or 6. And it's very rare that I get anything more than 6.5, 7 hours. It's just because I don't know. I think I got used to sleeping short. So I can never do that. I mean, like last night, I went to bed at 11:30, and I was up at 4:30. And it's just up, wide awake, just like, well, I can't sleep anymore. And, you know, it's not particularly worn me out throughout the day. I'm starting to feel a little bit tired now, but it's also, you know, nearly 11 o'clock at night, which is, you know, about normal. And I don't know. I think I just never really seem to get that much sleep. Yeah, it definitely does. I do suffer with anxiety, depression, and the arthritis as well, and chronic pain. And so, you know, combination of all three takes out of me. My medication takes out of me, and, you know, just forcing myself to be here and be a little more social than just sat isolated in my dark little corner is, you know, it'd be so easy for me to not do this and just play RimWorld on my own in the dark. That'll be so much easier. But I'm forcing myself to do this to be a little more open, a little more social, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having good fun. I'm definitely going to be playing a bit more Guild Wars on stream as well, because I really enjoy doing that. So it's given me something a little more, well, just a little more really, and yeah, it's sort of combining. Yeah, see, I've got my desk set up in the corner of my living space. I've got like a living room, dining room, you know, open plan sort of thing. And so I've got one corner which is my desk setup. So I've got multiple monitors. I've got a secondary desk for my laptop, which I'm using to monitor my stream. So, you know, I've got the game on one screen. I've got OBS on my second screen. I've got the laptop which has my stream open, so I can see what everyone else is seeing. And I've got my boom mic for when I'm doing any voiceover projects I might get, which are very few and far between, because I'm not particularly looking for those anymore. I've got my miniature painting station, which I can pull out in front of me, so I can, you know, watch streams or things while painting. And it's my little corner of this room. Even though, you know, the entire room is mine, because I live in this flat alone. I like having everything set up here. It's very comfortable. It's very me. And everything is, you know, within reach. I just have to stretch over and get things. And eventually when I start, because you know, I will start, you know, doing things to improve the stream and change things about. Eventually I will get a cam, though I don't know whether I want to put myself on stream or whether I want to go the VTuber route and animate animate the Scarred Vulcan. I haven't decided which way round I want to do that yet. But eventually I'll, you know, get around to doing that. I'll probably end up getting a green screen as well. One of the things I do need to do is set up my soundproofing in this corner again. Because at the moment it probably sounds a little echoey. Yeah, it's one of the decisions that it's obviously going to come into play at some point, but yeah, I haven't quite decided which way I want to go about it yet. Okay, some androids. Tier 1 android Red. Shooting and melee, a little bit of construction and intellectual. He's industrious. He's pretty good. For tier 1, he's pretty good. And Tanner Negotiator joins as a slave. Tier 3, not capable of skilled labour. Yeah, no. That costs 1,300. Okay, we've got 1,200. We've got a component. It's not going to be enough. We can't sell the Aves. Do we sell Sahara, the pug? The pug is useless. Yeah, I'm selling the pug, sod it. And it's the reason why I sold the pug for a tier 1 android colonist is because androids will just continuously work. They won't stop. Let's move into the middle because he does have melee and shooting skill. So Red, let's get you a good recurve bow. And most of these weapons are poor or normal. That's wooden. That's steel, that'll do. You can have that as a sidearm. And a manhunter pack. What do we have? Ooh, manhunting wolfhounds, but only 2 of them. So they'll run around into the base and they'll run into these guys first. So I shouldn't need to bother dealing with them. Oh. Where did they go? What are you doing out there? What's it? There's no reason for him to be out here. And now he's probably going to bleed to death. Ernesto, get your butt in here now. Good. Why are you getting the shiv? Why don't you pick up your friend? Okay, I need someone with medical skill. Tend to him and then rescue him, please. So see, they dealt with those very quickly. Please hunt that one. Don't tell me it got up. It did as well. Motherfucker. Hate it when they do that. And get up. Yeah, I think if I do go the VTuber route and get the Scarred Vulcan animated, I'll have to probably find someone to redesign it a bit. So I think that's a bit beyond my skill. Red needs a few repairs, please. And you can go and rest. Yeah, I'll probably take a look through Fiverr if that's the route I decide to go down. I'm on Fiverr myself for writing gigs, well, character writing gigs at least. It's a useful platform. It's a few people are a bit take a bit of piss over there though. Try to underprice everything, but that's because they can. The A's are... How long are they here for again? West. 22 days. Yeah. Yeah. It's I've had a couple of requests that come through. You know, for the most part, when you tell people that there's no movement on the prices, they are fairly respectable. They don't throw too much of a hissy fit. Most of them just tend to ghost you. But I had one guy try and convince me to take his offer for writing 2,500 words that would have worked out at paying me less than 1 penny per word, which is ridiculous. And that's well below market rates for writing jobs. And there's no way in hell I'm doing that. It's especially with the sort of work I'm offering over there. It's not just writing. It's the editing. It's actual doing all of the creation and things like that. And it's like, yeah, it's not just that. It's if you're writing for a penny a word, you are getting nowhere near minimum wage for the work. Unless you're just pumping out absolute shit. And I don't want to be pumping out absolute shit because that's not the way that you build a reputation. At least not a good one. Probably should set all of this in here. That is one of the downsides. We have a solar flare, which means Red, our android, is functioning at 60% capacity because he's mechanical. Yeah, I had the same when I sold my my comic collection. Well, the large parts of it. I had a guy offer me something like 10p per comic, and even for the basic stuff that isn't worth a lot, the lowest you can well, the lowest most people sell anything for is 50 pence. And, 10 pence, anyone that offers that is almost guaranteed to be a reseller. Someone who's just looking to flip it for a quick amount, so they offer well below what anyone else would pay. And I did the same. I turned around and sold the box for, I think it's ended up working out like 90p per comic that I sold the box for. And I turned around and showed him, the price I got for it, and he just was a bit of a dick about it, to be honest. Oh, we've got a few forest fires and a steel meteorite. Put you on mute for a sec. Okay, mad red pandas. There are 4 of them on the map. So let's get everyone up. Let's get defensive line up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So I will not lose the colony to red pandas. No, thank you. Yeah, you see the same with a lot of comic sellers as well. It's people who, especially the people here who collected the British version of American comics, so like the British releases of Marvel and DC. Those kind of things sell for a fraction of the price, and because they're not the original releases, that they'll try and sell something like there was one. It was a reprint of Giant Size X-Men #1, which is the first appearance of the new X-Men team that included like Wolverine, Colossus, Iceman, things like that. And it's a British reprint because it came a couple months after the original, and it's worth virtually nothing. It's about a tenner, whereas Giant Size X-Men #1 in good condition can be £1,000, £2,000. And they're like, yeah, I've got this. It's first appearance of the new team, and it's like, but it's not. It's it's like, but it's the first appearance in the British version. It's like, yes, it's not the first appearance. And it's the first appearance actually means it's the first. Yeah, Google is not difficult, and especially for comics, because you've got a lot of brokering sites, a lot of information for the comics. There was even There's even what's called the Overstreet Price Guide, which has printed price estimates for almost every comic released. And yeah, that's a little bit out of date at times, but it gives you a better idea than just making wild assumptions. Okay, Red, come and take this. Missed it. There we go. Squirrel. Yeah, see, a lot of the sites for comics do the same, and there's a couple of collection tracking sites that link in with all of the various brokerage sites and eBay and things like that, and will give you an estimate on your collection's value based on what the prices are and have been in the last 30 days, 60 days, whatever. And it's not difficult in this day and age when we have access to the sum of all human knowledge in a device that fits in our pocket. There is literally no excuse for any level of ignorance, because we can look things up in, like you said, a quick 5-minute Google search. And it's not difficult. That's the technology that's been developed, within our lifetime. And it's, when I was 11, 12, we did not have that power. We did not have the internet on our phones. Hell, most of us didn't even have phones. And it's my first smartphone I got when I was 11. And all it had was Snake and the ability to program in ringtones by typing in notes. And I didn't get my first internet-enabled phone until I was 15. And that was an old O2 flip phone that cost like £1 per minute to get on the internet. And yeah, but in this era of smartphones where we've got, the internet at our fingertips, there's no excuse for not knowing the basics of something. Yeah, that's fair enough. Technically, I live in a small town, but that being said, small town, it's between 26 and 28,000 people, so it's not tiny. But yeah, we've always had relatively good mobile signal around here. I think we'll go with smithing next. What we want to do, production. Looks like we're out of wood, so we'll make it out of steel. A couple of tailor's benches. And while those are being built, oh, did I set hunt by mistake? Yes, I did. Okay, we're hunting that hedgehog. Poor little hedgehog. We'll chop down a bunch of trees. Yeah, it's yeah, it's always makes me wonder how you don't know about the products you've got. Because even when I was just an auction porter and I wasn't doing anything important in the auction room, I always took a little bit of time to research what we had, so that if there were any questions, I could at least give people a very basic bit of information. Especially considering, you know, some of the stuff we were selling, it's, you know, there was quite a few bits of antiques in there. There was, you know, some older furniture. We had, you know, gold and jewelry, things like that. So instead of just saying, well, I don't know anything about that, you know, try and have a little bit of knowledge on many different things, so you can at least give a bit of the basics. Yeah, and you know, not everyone needs to know everything about everything, but you need to, if you're going to be selling something, it's a good idea to at least know a little bit about it. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to give everyone some clothes. So we'll start out with pants, button-down shirts, because I pick button-down shirts because button-down shirts actually have sleeves, which also protect the arms. If I went with something like t-shirts, they don't have sleeves, and so they don't protect the arms. So button-down shirts, we want dusters. We want bandanas to go across the face, and just because I like the look, we'll go with sombreros. And we'll give everyone some boots as well. Okay, so we've got androids. Let's make sure we set him properly. Androids we want to set to nudist, because they have problems picking up and using clothes. But we want to do until X. We'll leave it at 10. We'll count equipped, count one away. We want anything over normal, and we'll make them out of cloth. So do until X, count away, over normal, cloth. Do until X, count equipped, count one away. Do until X. Okay. Sombreros. And boots. So we want to make those out of light leather. Do until X. Count equip, count one away. And so we need to make sure we've got 300 light leather at the minimum. And we'll build a tailor's cabinet and a tool cabinet. Probably build a tool cabinet there as well for those benches. Oh dear. Let's have a look. So I want to copy all builds from there and link them into there, so two people can work on the same list of items. And we now have proper furniture. So let's stick armchairs in front of things for the comfort. So there's a lot of construction going to be going on. So everyone's doing a bit by the looks of it. They keep botching it. It's going to cost me a lot of cloth. Luckily, I've got a lot. Oh, marriage ceremony. Okay, so it looks like I need more granite. Pull in all that granite there once they're done with the marriage ceremony. I think I know. Yeah, we're not paying you to protect us. I think I know why we're not making any more. It's because we've not covered that area there. Needs to go a little bit further. There we go. So that will explain why those haven't been converted into bricks, because they were outside of the area. But now they should start turning those into bricks. And I think I will be finishing the stream at about 11 o'clock. It's a combination of the busy week and everything else is just really zapped out of me today. It's really starting to feel the fatigue. But I'm glad I got a stream in, and yeah, luckily both of the interviews are towards the afternoon, so I can spend some time in the morning, you know, get myself set up, get myself shaved and tidied up a bit, and I've got to travel into Birmingham for these two interviews. So just keeping myself ready. Okay. 6 melee pawns attacking immediately. Okay, you 3. Set you up across there. You pull out that. You pull out that. Yeah, 3-hour stream is relatively solid. Let's bring you together. You can go there. You can go there. You can go there. And you've got the longest range. You can stay back. Now, kind of wish it wasn't at night because accuracy is going to be down. That shotgun putting in work. Pile onto Faramond, please. Good, they're fleeing. Okay, Frost, you can go. You 3 can go. Faramond has dirt in his eye. Let's see, he is couch potato, cat person, nervous, and masochist. He's not great. Melee attack him to death, please. Might get you a little bit of melee skill. Yeah, so I've been into Birmingham a few times because some of my mum's family's from around that area. You know, they live in and around Dudley and places like that. And yeah, it's been once or twice for a couple other job interviews as well. It's a little bit further than I'd like to have for a commute, but because these two are mostly remote positions, I don't mind travelling for the interview or the or the odd team thing in the office, as long as it's not going to be every day, every week. The venerated dead caller looks like a shiv is one of our relics. We'll get rid of that and that because we're not leaving the map. Nice. Yeah, my mum's family's from a bit all over. Is my granddad was in the Navy, and so my mum was born in southwest Wales. My uncle was born in Middlewich, and my aunt was born in Singapore. Because for a while, my granddad was based in the naval base over there with the Ark Royal. And yeah, the rest of his family's all from all from around Birmingham. Yeah, so I'm not all from one place, but born and raised in Cheshire. Yeah, we've spread out a bit more now as well. My aunt lives in Australia, over in Perth. My dad is currently in Russia, in St. Petersburg. My mum still lives around here. Me and my two brothers live around here as well. My uncle lives... Actually, don't know where my uncle lives anymore. But he used to live in London. One of his kids has gone to America. The other's in Cambridgeshire. Might be in Cambridge. But yeah, we've spread out a bit as well. Vernon's Ancient Danger. Yeah, no, we're not travelling off the map, sorry. Really messing up that one particular chair. Can't seem to get it finished. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been anywhere close to Cambridge. The last time I was down in that area was, 2009. It's because I was dating a girl that lived in March, and yeah, that's a long time ago now. God damn. So it's one of the things I do find scary is because one of my best friends has a kid who's recently turned 18. And it's, she was a relatively young mother, but her kid's 18, That just makes me feel old. I don't want to feel old. But yeah, that was that's insane. It's you know, one of my other friends. It's her daughter's turning 13 this month, and it's like, where's the time gone? You know, I still get pop-ups on Facebook saying, you know, here's a picture, a memory that you shared, you know, several years ago, and it's a picture of her as a baby sat in my lap, waving her arms about, just having smacked me in the bottom of the chin. And it's like, where's that baby gone? And now she's turning 13, and it's like, what's happening? Ooh, roaming monstrosities. What have we got this time? Oh, what is it with the fucking flammable ones? Fuck off with the exploding ones. So the beetle fleet will explode when it dies. The muffalope will explode when it dies. The only one that won't is the chicken wolf. Oh, there's also another one. There's a chicken bear rooster. Masterwork, legendary, and awful. That's insane. Right, everyone back in here, please. You get your ranged weapons out. You're going to go there. And I'm going to spread you guys out here. Yeah, I've mostly stepped away from Facebook because it does just make me feel old. The coward's running off. The chicken wolf hen is dead. At least that one's slow. Right, come on. Shoot it before it gets to us. It's going to explode. This is going to be painful. Right, everyone out. Put the fire out, please, before it spreads. Yeah, I generally prefer Twitter. Just because Facebook's just a bit of a dumpster fire, especially in a small town. You know, everyone knows everyone's goings on anyway, and I just really don't fancy trying to use it anymore. It's just not my kind of place. I find Twitter a little easier to curate, and it's just a little easier to really nail down what you want to see with Twitter. It's, you know, because you can go through, you can mute various words or hashtags or anything like that, so that you just don't see those kind of things. That, and you don't have to piss about with proof of ID and things like that for, you know, if things get locked out and shit. So I know one of my friends used to do artwork under a slight variation of her name, and Facebook locked her out of the account and won't unlock it because she hasn't got any ID under that exact name. And it's like, fine, fuck off then. Okay, I've just noticed something. Floors, concrete. I want to change these to concrete floors to avoid getting the trees growing in there. Yeah, it's living in a small town. It's always interesting. It's because I've not moved away from where I've been brought up. Where it's because I was born the next town over, and then I've lived here my entire life. It's a bit like a fish tank, you know. Eventually, it just all gets murky, and everyone knows everything. It's yeah, and it's sometimes I would rather just despair, but I can't afford to move at the moment. I've got anyone on crafting. One person, Frost. Yeah, that's the same thing. I've always tried to date outside of the town, just because I need to get out. Especially because there's nothing particularly to do in this town either. You have to go elsewhere. And thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. But yeah, there's nothing to do for anyone here. You have to go. You have to go out and about. Hello, Fraz. How are you doing? How was the end of the stream? Hope everything went well. We're just bemoaning small town living and the need to get out and about and do something different. Yeah, no worries. I know what it's like. I'm going to be probably wrapping up in a little bit myself because, yeah, the ass is getting a bit numb. But no, if you don't think I asked when I was in your stream earlier, did you have a good weekend? It's I mean, busy's good. I've kept myself busy, but go and rest up and get yourself ready for next week. So it looks like everyone's tidying up again, and okay. A warg is hunting Frost. Where is Frost? He's there. So we'll see if it gives up. Nope, it's coming in. Everyone get your weapons out. And that's how you deal with an animal hunting. Yep, no worries. I'll see you about Fraz. Hope you have a good night. Okay, so still need to get this wall finished. Who can do basic crafting? 1, 2. Take anyone with 3 skill or above can do basic crafting, which would mean they can make bricks for me. So I just realised that I only had one person set on crafting, and so only one person was making bricks, so kind of don't need to have 2 brick making stations. It's always the little things that I miss. There we go, making more bricks, building more walls. You know what, I probably should set these just to drop on the ground. As bricks don't deteriorate, so just drop them on the floor, go and get another set. Okay, Frost is making some clothing for us. Good man. Making some pants. Making progress on this wall now. So this is a rather interesting way the styles mesh with ideology. Because Red is a tier 1 android and doesn't subscribe to any particular ideology, anything he builds will be in the basic style. So these walls are the basic style of granite wall, whereas anyone that is in my ideology will build granite walls like this, because these are the steampunk style. But Red can't build in the steampunk style because he's not part of the ideology. So what we'll do is, as we get further up into the tech levels, we can get Red a new android body, a tier 2 or a tier 3. We can transfer his mind into that body, and then we can, because tier 2 and 3 androids are capable of more rational thought, they are able to subscribe to ideologies, and so we can then get him to be part of the ideology. But yeah, if you have a colony with multiple different ideologies, or people who aren't able to be part of an ideology, you can end up with 2 or 3 different styles. It's one of the things I noticed very early on in ideology is, before I'd gotten used to converting everyone before getting them to join, if someone's building something, they have a different style from someone else, they will build in their own style, not the predominant style of the colony. Okay, Black Hive attack. I wish I had my defences up for this, because this is going to be painful. Centipedes, 2 of them, Black Spider and a Mega Louse. This is going to hurt. So how best to fight this? Let me set up manage areas, new area, area 2, expand area 2. Temporarily I'm going to put the animals in there. Everyone come inside and we'll fight them from inside here. So would help if I had built people armor as well. Did I not set that to hold open? No, I didn't. Okay, they're going for various bits there. Okay. I don't mind if you destroy those, that's fine with me. Okay, you can see it from there, that's fine. So I really don't mind you destroying this stuff, it's replaceable. Okay, let's go. We'll put you 3 there. And you guys there. And Usitos is a coward, so he's running away. Of course, he's going for cover. Okay, Cosme, go and finish that off, please. You're bleeding out 18 hours, so go. Okay, that was better than I expected. So, let's go back production. So we had one there, and that there. Drifters hope for resources. Nope, you're not having money offers. And get rid of those. Okay, that worked better than I expected. And is from up there, so I need to keep an eye out for black hive insect jelly. Okay. So let's set up the bill again. Stone blocks, drop on floor, do forever. Bring the radius down to cover that. Copy and paste and link. There we go. Okay, you're having a panic attack. Wonderful. So it's the downside to him having both coward and anxious. He'll run away from combat and then he'll go and hide in his room. So being a technophobe is a bit off-putting as well, but he's one of the ones that we started with, so there's not much that we can do about that. But he's also super immune, so if he ever gets an infection or anything like that, we don't have to particularly worry. We can hold it open. And you guys can go back to area 1. But we're not far off finish these walls now. And then we just need to put pillars and stuff in here so that people don't stop and shoot at us. Frost is still making pants for us. Oh god. Frost, Ositis, and Ikabu. Okay, so you now got sensory mechanites, which won't go away, I don't think. Not for a while. So they just need to be tended properly, but you're going to have permanent pain, but you're going to get a boost to sight, hearing, talking, and manipulation. It's not the worst, but I'd rather them not be ill. Because pain is just going to make their moods worse. The villager's terminal. That's for the dead caller. That's one of our relics. The downside is we're going to have to travel to go and get that. And our colonists are going to have massive mood debuffs for that. Industrious Festival, need leader, need an altar, lectern and pews. Conversion Ritual is going to be for red, but that won't work. And there's no leader speech either, because we don't have a leader currently. That's we've got a bit of insect meat. Did we get any black insect chitin? We did. That's good. That'll come in handy later. Okay, what I'm going to do... dumping stockpile. Set up space in here to dump any tainted clothing. So, clear all. We don't want anything fresh. Barrel on weapons and corpses. Not items, weapons. So we don't want anything that's not biocoded. We don't want anything clean. And then in here, we want to do the opposites. So we don't want anything tainted. And weapons, we don't want anything biocoded. And if we do this, they should haul everything out into here. So we'll just expand this to cover more. And the reason I'm putting them in this water here is because they'll be outdoors, they'll be in water, and so they'll decay the fastest. Yeah, I know how that goes. That's I generally try and avoid pyromaniacs if I can, especially on a tribal start. Excellent, so that wall's now up. So what we want to do is we want to hold this open. Red, come and open this for me. Oh, he's still carrying some of this stuff. Oops. So I want to hold this open so that there is a route into the base. And so enemies will try and come through here and then down here. We'll be waiting for them here. Once they get further down, we'll close this door and step over to this one, so they're forced to turn around and come back up and around here. Just a sneaky way of working the AI so that we can even the odds in some fights that might not necessarily be in our favour. But the next thing we need to set up is going to be columns and my mind's gone blank, and barricades. So you want to set them up every other space so that they have a constant change of speed. Because if they are able to just maintain a single speed over the same type of terrain, then it doesn't continuously slow them down. They'll speed up after they pass the first one. But by alternating, they will continuously slow down after they keep changing terrain types. And we're making them out of granite, because granite is the strongest stone that we have available. and we want a pillar there, put a pillar there as well. Just so they can't stand in these spaces and fire back at us. Red has a learning frenzy, and the endangered animals, pair of bonobos. Okay, so Red and Ernesto are getting some work done. And I think this is where I'm going to call it for now. So let's save and quit the menu. And this is one of the mods that I've recently installed, is basically just some more menu screens to cycle through. And some of them are really quite beautiful. We'll switch to the ending screen. And let's see if there is anyone who we can send you over to. Let's have a look. Who's up and about? Okay, let's let's go and see Slay. Slay's playing some American Truck Sim, playing on the new DLC, driving through Montana. So yeah, let's go and see Slay. Let's get the raid started. So raid Slay 3K. Start raid. So you can keep up with me on the social medias. Catch up with me on Twitter, and then find more of my D&D content. And we do have a raid message, which is better TTV emotes. So we pop across, we'll say hi to Slay, and thank you for coming in. It's been lovely having you here, Davey. Thank you for the lurkers as well. It's always appreciated. I'll be streaming again probably Tuesday, Thursday at the least. There likely will be more streams than that as well. Depends how busy I get, but Tuesday, Thursday at the least. And yeah, I'll see you all later in the week. Let's go.